Main battle tanks are often seen as relics of the 20th century, overshadowed by cyber warfare, missile technology, and drone innovation. Yet, tanks remain central to ground combat operations for major militaries. In the West, names like Leopard 2, Challenger 2, and M1 Abrams evoke power and precision. Russia's T-90 and the ambitious T-14 Armata have also grabbed headlines. But in the East, one formidable platform has steadily matured with far less publicity, the Type 99A series, the most advanced tank in the Chinese arsenal. For years, there has been a noticeable silence around the development of China's main battle tanks. Many outside observers assumed that progress had stalled or that drones and precision-guided munitions had diminished the tank's battlefield relevance. Yet this assumption doesn't reflect the reality. In truth, China's Type 99 series has been consistently refined, often behind closed doors, and adapted to meet the evolving requirements of modern warfare. China's experience with tanks traces back to older models like the Type 59, based on the Soviet T-54. Over time, these designs revealed critical vulnerabilities, particularly in the face of modern anti-tank weapons and advanced armor. The lessons learned led to a more focused effort on independent tank development, culminating in the WZ-123 project, the basis for the Type 99 series. By the mid-1990s, China had already begun experimenting with prototype models that integrated both indigenous innovation and foreign technologies. The goal was clear: to create a tank that could operate in high-threat environments, hold its own against NATO standards, and keep pace with Russian armor developments. The initial prototype under the WZ-123 program, often referred to in the West as the Type 98, marked a significant milestone. Featuring a cast turret and early versions of fire control systems, it was not a finished product but rather a proof of concept. Chinese engineers used these early tests to explore various technologies, including laser rangefinders, night vision, and modular armor systems. It wasn't until 1999, with the unveiling of the 991 series, that real deployment began. These early models went through several iterations, including the 992 series, which introduced a flat turret design, additional armor plating, and an upgraded 1,200 horsepower diesel engine. The vehicle also adopted a more robust fire control system and integrated a thermal imaging suite, key capabilities for 24-hour combat readiness. Despite these improvements, the fire control system in the 992 was still slightly behind that of its sibling, the Type 96. Only a few units received the upgraded stabilization features that later became standard. A significant turning point came in 2003 with the appearance of a new prototype, later refined and officially mass-produced in 2010 as the Type 99A. This tank represented a clean break from its predecessors in everything but name. The 99A model introduced a fully welded turret, an updated gun with fewer modular segments, 2 instead of 3, and a new targeting system compatible with tail-stabilized armor-piercing rounds. It incorporated millimeter-wave radar, laser countermeasure systems, and an onboard ballistic computer that interconnected all the weapon and sensor systems. The tank's combat weight rose to 58 tons, a considerable increase from the 992's 53 tons, reflecting its heavier armor and new systems. It also featured a redesigned chassis, with noticeable differences in the road wheels and track guide system. While Western tanks like the Leopard 2 receive clear designations for each major update, e.g. 2A6, 2A7, China has opted to retain the 99A label despite successive internal upgrades. This approach may obscure the actual technological evolution, but it also reflects a philosophy of continuous modernization under a stable naming structure. Some analysts argue that if China followed NATO-style naming conventions, the current version might be labeled as something like 99A7 or even 99A Block 70, signifying the level of change introduced over time. In 2016, the 99A series received its most substantial upgrade yet, often referred to informally as the 99A2. Key enhancements included a more powerful 1,500 horsepower diesel engine, designated 150 HP, and the adoption of the CH-1000 integrated hydraulic mechanical transmission. This gave the tank a smoother, more responsive driving experience with 6 forward gears and 3 reverse. One of the most forward-looking changes was the removal of the millimeter-wave radar and the addition of drone jamming modules mounted on the turret. While traditional active protection systems (APS) are geared toward intercepting incoming projectiles like RPGs and anti-tank missiles, the 99A2 was designed with anti-drone warfare in mind, a growing priority in light of recent battlefield experiences, particularly in the Russia-Ukraine conflict. Although China had already begun integrating drone countermeasures in its export models like the VT-4, these systems were considered optional add-ons. In the 99A2 they became standard features. In 2020, a major leap was made in the form of an enhanced active defense system capable of intercepting top-attack munitions, a category that includes airborne threats such as loitering munitions and top-attack anti-tank missiles. Unlike older APS systems like Israel's Trophy or the US Iron Curtain, which focus primarily on threats from the horizontal plane, this new Chinese system aimed upward. The system deploys diffuse directional warheads, designed to disrupt or destroy incoming threats approaching from above. These features position the 99A2 among the first tanks globally to prioritize defense against vertical attacks from drones and smart missiles. This upgrade arrived just before the outbreak of large-scale drone use in the Russia-Ukraine war, suggesting that Chinese planners had foreseen the changing threat environment. By 2021, the updated Type 99A2 was observed in service with the 81st Army Group, one of China's premier armored formations. The vehicle was seen with revised upper chassis configurations and new interfaces, potentially supporting remote weapon stations and enhanced surveillance equipment. The current status of the rumored Type 99A3 remains unclear. Some speculation points to experimental designs including larger caliber guns, possibly moving beyond the standard 125mm smoothbore, though recent imagery shows continued reliance on the existing weapon. It is possible that China is testing new turrets or future-oriented concepts under different programs not officially designated as Type 99 variants. Rather than opting for mass replacement, China has adopted a rotational upgrade system, introducing new equipment across brigades and planned cycles. Known as echelon installation, this approach allows newer variants to gradually replace older ones without disrupting force readiness. Each heavy armored brigade receives equipment according to a staggered timeline, ensuring that frontline units are never outdated, but also avoiding overconcentration of resources. The Type 99 series, particularly from the 991 onward, serves as the model for this strategy of incremental yet consistent modernization. Even with the latest hardware, China continues to prioritize field feedback and incorporate lessons learned from real-world conflicts. The emphasis on modularity, digital integration, and air threat countermeasures reflects a military that is not only keeping pace but also planning for the next generation of hybrid warfare. The narrative that China's Type 99A has been frozen in time since 2010 is misleading. Over the past decade, the tank has received significant, if underpublicized, upgrades that reflect a broader shift in Chinese military doctrine. These include powertrain improvements, counter-drone capabilities, top-attack defense systems, and networked fire control, placing it firmly in the league of modern main battle tanks. Unlike the T-14 Armata, which is still limited in operational numbers, or the highly publicized but expensive M1 Abrams upgrades, the 99A family represents a more pragmatic evolution, focused on delivering improvements without making a spectacle. While the world continues to debate the future of armored warfare, China's quiet investment in the Type 99 series suggests that tanks are far from obsolete. They are being redefined, not replaced, for the battles of tomorrow.